Oh, I think this should be working, but we've got a whole host of technical issues. I get a little readout here in the bottom left, and it's all red. Everything is red. Never mind, hey. Welcome everyone to the Gathering online quiz number 4? 3? Something like that. I'm hoping to see some very competitive team naming going on, because there is a bonus point for the best team name, just like last time. In fact, I may give out more than one. Please let me know if this is completely unusable. If it is, I shall have to restart the stream and see what happens then. Let me know if you can understand anything I'm saying, whether or not this is working. Say hello when you hear me. Oh no, I hope this is working. I'm going to feel very silly. No one said hello yet. Well, in the off chance that anyone can actually hear me, make sure you've got a paper and pen nearby, because that's what you'll need. To write down your answers, because there's no online score sheet this time. It was too much work. It took me too long to sort. How are we doing? Has anyone been able to understand a word I've said? I'm having to message my youth group and seeing if they can understand what I'm saying. Not... Ooh. Hello. Hello, hello, hello. Audio is perfect, says Matt Chapman. So the audio is fine. Is it just the video that's not fine? Grace Church are yelling at me. Grace Church! So is the audio fine? The picture's a bit jumpy, but that's not a problem. Thank you very much, Matt Chapman. Oh, there we go. All the texts are coming in. Simon's messaging me. And there we go. Alrighty then. In which case, make sure you've got a leader with a paper and pen ready to write down your answers, because we're going analog. We're going old school with this quiz. And to build anticipation a little bit more, you're going to be marking your own, you're going to be submitting your scores, and then halfway through we're going to know who's in the lead. Because up to this point, none of you have had a clue at all at which order you've been in. So I'm going to say a minute to get a paper and a pen and a willingness not to cheat on any of the questions, because we're not about that. You've got a minute to get a paper and a pen. If you've already got a paper and a pen, why not do a fun little dance? Just in your Zoom calls. Have a little bit of fun with it. I don't know. Alright, that's not a minute, but we're going to start anyway. Right, ladies and gentlemen, are you ready for the Gathering quiz? Now the first round, and I'm quite pleased with this round, is the Ben & Jerry's Real or Not round. In this round, I will read you the name of a Ben & Jerry's ice cream, and you simply need to write down whether it's real or whether it's not real. So it's the Ben & Jerry's Real or Not round. Question number 1. Peanuts, popcorn. This is a caramel ice cream with white fudge covered caramel popcorn, toffee coated peanuts, and a caramel swirl. That's a caramel ice cream with white fudge covered caramel popcorn, toffee coated peanuts, and a caramel swirl. Is it real or is it not? You've got 20 seconds. Alrighty, I'm not going to give you long on these because it's basically a true or false round. Question number 2, Urban Jumble. A swirling safari of chocolate ice cream and coconut ice cream mixed with white and dark chocolatey chunks, pecans and roasted almonds. Is it a real Ben & Jerry's flavour or have I made it up? You've got 20 seconds. Alrighty, question number 3. The Inside Scoop. This is a scoop of peanut butter flavoured ice cream with dark chocolate chunks surrounded by chocolate chip cookie dough ice cream. Is it a real flavour or have I made it up? You've got 20 seconds. Okay, question number 4. Real or not? Au Pair, which is pear ice cream with a hint of almond and a light fudge swirl. Pear ice cream with a hint of almond and a light fudge swirl. Is it real or have I made it up? 20 seconds. Okay, question number 5 of the Ben & Jerry's Real or Not round. This is a movie tie-in, an ice cream called Back to the Scoopture 3, which is a chocolate milk flavoured ice cream with fudge cowboy hats and trains, and a white chocolate milk flavoured ice cream with fudge cowboy hats and trains, and a white chocolate DeLorean. Is it real or is it made up? Okay, question number 6. Miss Jelena's sweet potato pie. Is this a real or not flavour? The description, it's ginger ice cream with a fudge swirl. Miss Jelena's sweet potato pie, ginger ice cream with a fudge swirl. Is it real or have I made it up? Alright, question number 7 of the Ben & Jerry's round. Space Race. This is a chocolate ice cream with white chocolate stars and rockets with a caramel swirl. Space Race, chocolate ice cream with white chocolate stars and rockets and a caramel swirl. Is it a real flavour or have I made it up? Okay, question number 8. Chubby Hubby. Chubby Hubby, which is a vanilla malt ice cream with peanutty fudge covered pretzels with fudge and peanut buttery swirls. That's a vanilla malt ice cream with peanutty fudge covered pretzels with fudge and peanut buttery swirls. Is it a real flavour or have I made Chubby Hubby up? Question number 9. If you've just joined us, I'm only saying that because I know some of my young people have only just joined us. We're doing the Ben and Jerry's Real or Not round. And you've got to tell me whether or not this is a real flavour or if I've made it up. Question 9 is fossil fuel. Fossil fuel is sweet cream ice cream with chocolate cookie pieces, fudge dinosaurs, and a fudge swirl. Sweet cream ice cream with chocolate cookie pieces, fudge dinosaurs, and a fudge swirl. Is fossil fuel real, or have I made it up? Okay, right, one more flavour in this round. Question number 10. Real or not, legendary. Legendary has 3 of Ben and Jerry's most legendary flavours in one tub. Chocolate chip cookie dough, fish food, and chocolate fudge brownie. So there are 3 most legendary flavours in one tub. Legendary. Is it real or have I made it up? Okay, that is the end of the Ben and Jerry's Real or Not round. Hope you enjoyed that one and you're not craving Ben and Jerry's too much. Well, the next round, we were supposed to be enjoying the end of the Summer Olympic Games. It was supposed to be finishing on Sunday. Sadly, it's not been able to happen. I can't really remember why. But the next round, in honour, is our Olympics round. So on your pieces of paper, where you're writing down your answer, write Olympics, and then we'll mark these 2 rounds once we've finished doing the Olympics round. All right, that's the plan. So Olympics is your next heading. We will mark the first 2 rounds after we finish this round. I'll give you 10 seconds to do that. And also to remind you to come up with a good team name, because the best team name will get some bonus points. Alright, Olympics round. Question 1. Which of these is not an Olympic partner? Panasonic, Samsung. Which of these is not an Olympic partner? Panasonic, Samsung, Toyota, or Sony? Alright, oh, well, welcome to Kensington. Good to have you joining us. You've missed the Ben and Jerry's round. That was basically a true and false round, so I'll figure out what we'll do with the scores then. But we're in the Olympics round. So that's question 1. And it's time for question number 2, which might take you a little bit longer. What are the 5 colours in the Olympic logo? And you get 1 point for each colour you get correct. So what are the 5 colours of the Olympic logo? You get 1 point for each colour you get correct. No cheating. I'm going to be nice and give you 20 more seconds on this one, because it can be a little bit tricky. Alrighty, well, on the Olympics round, writing down on your pieces of paper, because we don't have an online form. Question 3, what do the 5 interlaced rings in the Olympic logo represent? So you've told me what colours they are. What do the 5 interlaced rings represent? Alrighty. question number 4 of the Olympics round, and this is some real Olympics trivia. Which sport was brought back in the 1988 Olympics after having been excluded for 64 years? Which sport was brought back in the 1988 Olympics after being excluded for 64 years? Is it tennis? Is it cycling? Discus? Shot put? Or butterfly? Have fun with that one. Alrighty, question number 5 on the Olympics round. The international federation which governs the archery competition in the Olympics is called what? Is it the FICA, the FIAA, the FIFA, or the FITA? Enjoy. And for the record, if you actually know the answer to that one off the top of your head, props to you. That's pretty impressive. That's some real knowledge, that is. All right. Question number 6. The country that normally wins the majority of gold medals in the table tennis is which country? I'm not sure you'll need very long on that one. So we'll go to the final question of the Olympics round, which is question 7. The 1980 Moscow Olympics were boycotted by which country? One for you history buffs. The 1980 Moscow Olympics were boycotted by which country? Okay, let's see if I've formatted this correctly. Yeah, I have. Some answers. So make sure you've come up with a good team name, because in a moment you're going to need to submit it in the YouTube chat. So make sure someone's ready to do that. But you're going to submit it alongside your score for each round. So the first round was the Ben & Jerry's Real or Not round. Kensington, if you're quick enough, it's basically a true and false round. So based off the title, go with your first instinct. And then you'll find out whether you get it right or not. I'm sure you won't cheat. So the Ben & Jerry's Real or Not round. Question 1, peanuts, popcorn, a caramel ice cream with white fudge covered caramel popcorn, toffee coated peanuts, and a caramel swirl was a real Ben & Jerry's flavour. Peanuts popcorn, question number 1 of round number 1, was a real flavour. Question number 2, Urban Jumble, a swirling safari of chocolate ice cream and coconut ice cream mixed with white and dark chocolatey chunks, pecans and roasted almonds, is a real Ben & Jerry's flavour. Question number 3, the Inside Scoop, a scoop of peanut butter flavoured ice cream with dark chocolate chunks surrounded by chocolate chip cookie dough ice cream, is a fake Ben & Jerry's flavour that I made up. That's not a real one. Inside Scoop, not real. Au Pair, which is a pear ice cream with a hint of almond and a light fudge swirl, was a real Ben & Jerry's flavour. Your youth leader has abandoned you. I'm sorry to hear that, Madeline. Does that mean you don't have your answers either? Okay. Oh, he's back. There we go. That's good. So Peanuts Popcorn, real. Urban Jumble, real. Inside Scoop, not real. Au Pair, real. Back to the Scoopture 3. Chocolate milk flavoured ice cream with fudge cowboy hats and trains and a white chocolate DeLorean was a made up flavour. I made that one up. That's not a real Ben & Jerry's flavour. One, two, three, four, five. Question number 6. Miss Jelena's sweet potato pie, ginger ice cream with a fudge swirl, is actually a real Ben & Jerry's flavour. Yeah. So that one's real. Space Race, chocolate ice cream with white chocolate stars and rockets and a caramel swirl. Space Race was one that I made up. That's not a real flavour. Chubby Hubby, vanilla malt ice cream with peanutty fudge covered pretzels and a fudge and peanut buttery swirls. Chubby Hubby was a real flavour. Fossil Fuel, sweet cream ice cream with chocolate cookie pieces, fudge dinosaurs and a fudge swirl, was also a real flavour. And then the last one, question 10 of the Ben & Jerry's Real or Not round, Legendary, which was 3 of Ben & Jerry's most legendary flavours in one tub, chocolate chip cookie dough, fish food and chocolate fudge brownie, was a flavour I made up, but I want to be real. But it's not real. But I think if we all tweet or whatever you people do these days at Ben & Jerry's, they will create it for us. Yeah, I think we're all craving Ben & Jerry's now. So, once you've finished marking your answers, if you can write your full team name and the number of points you got for that round, that would be fantastic in the chat. So write your full team name, and remember there are bonus points for the best team name. And if you could tell me how many points you got in that round. And we shall see how much of a delay there is on this live stream. Apparently a relatively long delay. Never mind. So your full team name and the score you got for the Ben & Jerry's round. I'm not worried at all that no one's posted anything. Maybe you're all just so ashamed of your scores that you're not writing them. Alright, well I'm going to hope they're going to start appear. Oh, here we go. The Aaron Scott Fan Club. Now that's a good name. Got 6. Just the 3 of us got 6. think there's more than 3 of you now, though, aren't there? Christchurch. What am I doing? Christchurch. Got 6. Turnaround 180, got 5. Turnaround 180, nice. 180, got 5. And the Hedgehogs. Got 5 as well. Alright, let's mark the Olympics round. Sorry that there's probably a massive delay on this. The Olympics round. So, which of these is not an Olympic partner? Sony was not and is not an Olympic partner. Sony is the correct answer for question 1. So you get a point for that. For question 2, you get a point for each colour you get correct. The 5 colours are red, black, green, blue, and yellow. I'll read them again. You get 1 point for each you get correct. Red, black, green, blue, and yellow. So it's 1 point for each of those. Question 3, what do the 5 interlaced rings in the Olympic logo represent? They represent the 5 continents of the world. The 5 continents of the world. Question 4, I guess. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes. Which sport was brought back in the 1988 Olympics after being excluded for 64 years? It was tennis. Tennis was brought back in the 1988 Olympics. The international federation which governs the archery competition is called the FITA. The FITA, which stands for the Fédération Internationale de Tir. I've probably completely butchered that. Which is French for the International Archery Federation. So the FITA is the correct answer. The country that normally wins the majority of gold medals in table tennis is China. China normally win the majority of the gold medals in table tennis. And the 1980 Moscow Olympics were boycotted by the USA. The 1980 Moscow Olympics were boycotted by the USA. Once you've finished tallying up your points, do the same thing you did before. Put the name of your team followed by the number of points that you got. In the meantime, in fact, I'll give you a moment to do that and then I'll carry on. I won't wait so long this time. I think there's about a 30-second delay, which feels like forever. Okay, I'm going to start on with the next round. Hopefully you've all put your scores in the chat, or this is going to get really confusing for me. We're not breaking for an interview this time. We don't have an interview filmed. I'm sure that whatever we do in September, we will have some sort of interview slot because I've really enjoyed them. But it's August. It's a tricky time to get people down. So that's fine. Okay, round number 3 is the poorly described movies round. So in this round, I'm going to give you a poor description of a movie, and it will only be an animated Disney or a Pixar film. I know some are both. It will either be an animated Disney or a Pixar film, okay? I'm going to give you a poor description of them, and you have to write down the name of the film. Here we are. I've started getting scores through now. That tells you how long it takes. Okay, so question 1 of the poorly described movie movies round. Not down. A reminder that these will only be animated Disney or Pixar films. So question 1 was not down. Question number 2. Cleaning makes your wishes come true. Cleaning makes your wishes come true. Question number 3. Don't trust your uncle. Question number 4. The seaweed is always greener. Question number 5. Your poor description of a movie. Spots. Okay, question number 6. Stop holding on. Question number 7. What you do when nobody's looking. What you do when nobody's looking. Question number 8. Friends, not food. Question number 9. If everyone's special, no one is. And the last question of the poorly described movies round. Memorable meals. Memorable meals. Alright, that's the end of that round. We come then to round number 4. Round number 4 is the slogans round. It's a classic quiz round, this one. I give you the slogan, you give me the name of the company that uses that slogan. So I give you the slogan, you give me the name of the company that uses this slogan. Here we go then. Question 1 of the slogans round. Very easy one. I'm loving it. I'm not giving you long on that one because you shouldn't need it. Question number 2. Eat fresh. Question number 3. Just do it. Again, you shouldn't need that long on that one. Question 4. Simples. Question 5. Oh yes. Okay, question number 6. Jump in. Jump in. Question number 7. Live well for less. Question 8. It gives you wings. Question 9. Because you're worth it. And the last question in the slogans round. Here, chocky chocky. Right, we're going to mark those 2 rounds, then we'll do the last round, and I'll save marking that until after the talk. I'll just skip back through me slides. Back to the poorly described movies round, so make sure you've got your answers ready, leaders. Question number 1 of the poorly described movies round. Not down was, of course, up. Not down was up. Question 2, cleaning makes your wishes come true, was Aladdin, because you have to rub the magic lamp and then you get 3 wishes. So Aladdin was question 2. Question 3, don't trust your uncle, was The Lion King, because of Uncle Scar. The Lion King, question 3. Question 4, the seaweed is always greener in somebody else's lake. It's The Little Mermaid. The Little Mermaid, question 4. One of my favourite animated films growing up. Question 5. Spots was 101 Dalmatians. 101 Dalmatians. Question 6. Stop holding on. Let it go. It's, of course, everyone's favourite film, Frozen. Best film of all time. Frozen. Question 6. Question 7. What you do when nobody's looking was Toy Story. If you've written Toy Story 2, 3 or 4, you can have that as well, because it's the same premise. So question 7, Toy Story. Question number 8. Friends Not Food is Finding Nemo. Finding Nemo, question 8. Question 9. If everyone's special, no one is The Incredibles. The Incredibles. And question number 10. Memorable meals. Ratatouille, which is probably my current favourite animated film, behind Frozen, of course. Question 10, Ratatouille. So let me know in the chat, again, your team name and how many points you got in that round. I will give you 20 seconds to do that, and then I'll start doing the answers for the slogans round. Okay, right, let's do the scoring for the slogans round while I'm still getting those scores in. Just checking I'm not getting messaged by anyone saying, stop, you've got to read the answers again. Don't think I am. All right, the slogans round. Question 1, I'm loving it, is of course McDonald's. Question 1 of the slogans round, McDonald's. Question 2, eat fresh is Subway. Eat fresh is Subway. Question 3, just do it is Nike. Question 3, Nike or Nike. Question 4, simples is compare the market. I will accept compare the meerkat on that one as well. Compare the market or compare the meerkat. Question 5. Oh, yes. Which is a bad impression of the Churchill dog. So that's Churchill is question 5. Churchill. Question 6. Jump in was the Xbox slogan. I think they got rid of it for a while and then they brought it back. There we are. I'm sure some of you care about the new generation of rubbish bins and internet routers that are coming out soon. Okay, question 7. Live well for less is Sainsbury's. Sainsbury's. Live well for less. It gives you wings is Red Bull, and they famously had a lawsuit where someone sued them because they didn't actually get wings, so they added in the extra I. So it gives you wings is Red Bull. Question 9, because you're worth it is L'Oreal. L'Oreal. And question 10, here Chocky Chocky is for them this cereal Crave. Here Chocky Chocky, Crave. And so the usual drill, if you can write your team name and how many points you got in the slogans round in the chat, that would be fantastic. Before we have the final quiz round, then we'll have the talk, then we'll mark the quiz round and I will announce who's got points for their team name and then we'll find out who wins. So in the chat, how many points did you get in the slogans round? Alrighty then. Oh, that's giving away the name of the next round. Whoopsie daisies. There we are. Right, now it is time for the talk, which this month comes from me. You may recognize my t-shirt. It's because it was filmed earlier today. Sorry, I've got some more points coming through. Hopefully the video will hold up. And then immediately after this talk, there's going to be a 10-minute timer on the screen, during which time your leaders have been emailed some discussion questions. You can talk about that. You can go, what on earth was Aaron going on about? And all that kind of stuff. And at the end of the 10 minutes, we will... Hang on, have I done this in the right order? No, we're doing the round... I do apologise. I'm just prattling on. We're doing the which is bigger round first, aren't we? And then we're doing the... Sorry. Let's just get on with it, shall we? Which is bigger is the title of the final round. Talk after this, answers after talk and discussion. I've got it now. Terrible. Which is bigger? In this round, you need to tell me very simply which is bigger. So, question number 1. Is an African elephant or an Indian elephant bigger? Alrighty. Next question. Which is bigger, the Eiffel Tower or the Empire State Building? We're talking in terms of height here. Which is bigger, Eiffel Tower or the Empire State? Question 3. Which is bigger, an octodecillion or an octillion? Question 4. Which is bigger, in terms of which is worth more in this question, 300,000 Vietnamese dong or 1,000 Indian rupees? Question 5. Which is bigger, the average Canadian man or the average Australian man in terms of weight? Which is bigger, question 6, Mark Zuckerberg's bank account or Elon Musk's bank account? Question number 7. Which is bigger in terms of population, Bristol or Cardiff? In terms of population. Question number 8. Which is bigger, in terms of weight, a Freddo or a fun size Mars bar? And we won't even get into fun size today. Okay, question number 9. Which is bigger in terms of size, Wales or Lake Victoria? And the final question of the quiz for tonight is, which is bigger, a Domino's large pizza or a Pizza Hut large pizza? Which is bigger? Alright, well, fantabby-dozy, that is the quiz. And now it's time for the talk, unlike what I said earlier. So there'll be the talk, there'll be a 10-minute countdown timer for you to discuss the questions, talk about anything, if you've got time to pray. Then we'll mark, we'll find out who's won, and that will be it for the Gathering quiz in August. So I hand over to myself. Changes. We all change. We all experience it. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. Another cliche is that we're living through one of the biggest periods of change for a very, very long time. That was probably true before coronavirus, but it's certainly true now, isn't it? And you can find article after article on the internet, Facebook post after Twitter thing, or TikTok, I don't understand, explaining that exact thing. There's so much change, and so many guides to knowing how to deal with all this change. Change isn't always a bad thing. It can be a really good thing when someone's rough edges get knocked off, perhaps, and someone grows up. And I think we're all familiar with the idea that people change as well. I remember having friends in junior school, and we were great, really close friends, and then we got to senior school and, well, we started to change. We became less like each other. And so eventually we weren't really friends at all in the end. The Greeks are famous for their philosophy, and one of their clever blokes called Heraclitus said this: "No man ever steps in the same river twice, for it's not the same river, and he's not the same man." And he's right, isn't he? Rivers constantly change with the flow of water, the banks move, the riverbed settles, and we change too. Now we get a whole new set of cells across our whole body in the space of about 7 to 10 years. In fact, the average human sheds about 4 kilograms of human skin a year. That's a bit grim, but it underlines an important reality. We all change, constantly. Now in this series of talks during the Gathering online quiz nights, we've been thinking about the character of God. And tonight we're thinking about how God, unlike us, and unlike the world around us, does not change. We talk about this as the immutability of God. Immutable just means unchanging. Think of the word mutate. Mutate means to change. God is immutable. He doesn't change. Now, in order to show you this from the Bible, we're going to look at Exodus chapter 3. Now, Moses was tending the flock of Jethro, his father-in-law, the priest of Midian, and he led the flock to the far side of the wilderness and came to Horeb, the mountain of God. There the angel of the Lord appeared to him in flames of fire from within a bush. Moses saw that though the bush was on fire, it did not burn up. So Moses thought, "I will go and see this strange sight, why the bush does not burn up." When the Lord saw he had gone over to look, God called to him from within the bush, "Moses, Moses." And Moses said, "Here I am." "Do not come any closer," God said. "Take off your sandals, for the place where you are standing is holy ground." And then he said, "I am the God of your father, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob." At this Moses hid his face, because he was afraid to look at God. Moses is a shepherd. He's looking after his father-in-law's sheep, and one day he comes across a burning bush. But there's something strange about this burning bush, because although it's burning, the bush isn't actually being consumed. The fire sustains itself. The shape and the strength of a fire is normally based on the thing that it is burning up. If you burn a Christmas tree, they burn very quickly and very, very hot. Whereas if you burn hand sanitizer, don't do that by the way, but if you do burn hand sanitizer, in the daylight you can't even see the flame. But at night time you can see it's this soft blue. The fuel changes the way the fire looks. But this burning bush, it's not affected by the bush that it's in. The fire simply burns. In the next 3 verses, God explains how he has heard his people's cries. See, Moses had been living as a free man, again as a shepherd, caring for his father-in-law's sheep. But Moses' people, the people he belongs to, the Israelites, well, they are slaves in Egypt, living lives full of hard toil and desperation. And they've been calling out to God. And God says to Moses that he has heard the cries of his people. God says he's got a plan to rescue them. So now, go. I am sending you to Pharaoh to bring my people, the Israelites, out of Egypt. But Moses said to God, "Who am I that I should go to Pharaoh and bring the Israelites out of Egypt?" And God said, "I will be with you." God is going to rescue his people, and he's going to use Moses to do it. Now Moses doesn't seem very sure about this. Moses said to God, "Well, if I'm going to go in your name and be the one who brings your people out of Egypt, I need to know what your name is." And so God tells him, "I am who I am. This is what you are to say to the Israelites. I am has sent me to you." God also said to Moses, "Say to the Israelites, the Lord, the God of your fathers, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob has sent me to you. This is my name forever, the name you shall call me from generation to generation. I am who I am, or I will be who I will be." That's the name that God gives to Moses. Now it's an unusual name, but what it means is truly amazing. You see, it reveals God's character to us. It reveals to us his unchanging nature. He is who he is. It's set, it's signed, it's sealed. He isn't going to change. And then God says that he is the God of Moses' forefathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Now, in the book of Genesis, we learn that God made promises to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and that they and their descendants would become a great nation. They would live in a great place, and they would be greatly blessed by God's good rule. And that's the message that God gives to Moses to tell the Israelites in Egypt. And if we rightly understand this message, we can see that it's a great message of comfort. See, connect the dots. God says he is who he is. He doesn't change. He then reminds the Israelites that he's the God of their forefathers, the ones who he made these amazing promises to. Put those two things together, well, God will absolutely keep those promises that he made, because when he made them, he's not changed since. He is the same. So as he made the promises then, he will keep them today. It's an amazing message of comfort. They're not forgotten, and God has not changed. He's still for them, and he still loves them. You see, this is what God can offer that nothing else can. Even if you were able to cozy up to the most powerful of politicians in the world, actually one day there's going to be a significant thing that changes about them. They'll go from being alive to being dead. And at that point, they're of no use to you. There's no security there. Many people put their hopes in house prices because house prices tend to go up and up. So the longer you live in a house for, generally the more money you're going to have on the way out. And people go, yeah, that's where my security is. So when I'm older, I'll have that extra bit of money. But there are no guarantees. Nothing can offer true security. No one can. Other than, I am who I am. He is secure because he doesn't change. Now, COVID-19 has shaken pretty much everything up. There's a lot of change going on. Things that people thought would last long into the future have actually disappeared. And while the initial turmoil has passed, there's this new turmoil that's come along because no one really knows what the world's going to look like at the end of the day. What will school look like? What could universities look like? What will church look like? What will youth group look like? We just don't know. And for many of us, this is very unsettling. We feel uncertain of anything and find it a very difficult time to live in. Well, God's people were in a far greater turmoil. They were living as slaves in bitter oppression, and there was no end in sight. But the message of comfort that God gave Moses to tell them is the same message of comfort we can take today. That God does not change, and so he will keep his promises. He is who he is. He's not like your old friends at school who might change on you. He never changes. We can utterly depend on him. We can be totally secure in him. And so that means, and we should realise, that the sensible thing to do is not to build our lives on things that there are no guarantees of carrying on, but we should build our lives on the one person who will never change and will never leave us. On the one who can give us total security. On the one who can give us total security in the face of the greatest turmoil. What does it look like to build your life on God? What does it look like to build our lives and find security in the God who never changes? Well, firstly, we find it through Jesus. You see, Jesus comes as the fulfillment of all of God's promises. The Israelites would have been greatly comforted by being reminded of the promises that God had made to their forefathers and the fact that God was going to keep them. But so much more, we who stand on the other side of the cross, we can see the goodness of God and the love of God for us in a way far greater than the Israelites did. If they found comfort then, we can find so much comfort now. Of course, of vital importance is that we put our faith in Jesus. That's the only way we can receive that true security. In putting our faith in Jesus, in his sacrificial death on the cross, in our place, to take away our sin, so we can find true security in God, in knowing that we are loved by him, and that after we die, we could go to heaven with him. But another way that we can respond to this truth that God does not change is that when we come across difficult periods in our lives, and some of you have had very difficult periods, we shouldn't allow those things to shape what we think of God. We can know what God is like through his word, and we can be sure that he does not change. So we shouldn't say, well, this has happened, so that must mean God is like this. Instead, we should say, the Bible says God is like this, and that he doesn't change. And through that lens, we should see the things that happen to us. More than this, we should build our lives in such a way that show we know that true security is only found in God. What's the point of building our lives on the things that everyone else builds their lives on in this world? We shouldn't build our hopes on getting the best university place, getting the best paying job, having a massive house and having amazing holidays. Because those things, even if you get them, can be there one day and gone the next. Whereas the love of God, once you receive it, you always have it. You're going to have a few minutes now to discuss some questions that I've sent to your leaders reflecting on this topic. God does not change, and that is very good news. Hello, welcome back. I'll give you 30 seconds just to round off anything you might have been talking about, and then we'll do some answers. 30 seconds. Alrighty then. Let's do some answers. Not quiz results yet. Right, so for the which is bigger round, get ready to mark them. Question 1. Which is bigger, the African elephant or the Indian elephant? It's the African elephant that's bigger. An African elephant is on average about 9 tons. An Indian elephant is a measly 6 tons in comparison. So the African elephant is bigger. Question 2. The Empire State Building is bigger than the Eiffel Tower. The Empire State Building is 381 meters tall, whereas the Eiffel Tower is 324 meters tall. So the Empire State. An octodecillion is bigger than an octillion. One's a British term, one's an American term, but the octodecillion is bigger. 300,000 Vietnamese dong is just worth more than 1,000 Indian rupees. It's a very close conversion. So 300,000 Vietnamese dong is bigger. Question number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The average Australian man is bigger at 87 kilograms compared to a measly 80.3 kilograms in Canada. So question 5, the Australian man is bigger. Question 6, Mark Zuckerberg's bank account is bigger than Elon Musk's bank account. Zuckerberg has $88.2 billion. Elon Musk has a measly $70.6 billion. So Zuckerberg's got a bigger bank account. Bristol has a bigger population, is bigger than Cardiff by about 200,000 people, according to the 2011 census. A fun-size Mars bar is 1.7 grams bigger than a Freddo, although a Freddo did used to be heavier than that, but shrinkflation. So Mars bar is bigger. Lake Victoria is 3.2 times bigger than Wales. So Lake Victoria is bigger, much bigger than Wales. Lake Victoria, of course, the source of the River Nile. A fact I learnt from Top Gear. And then question 10, and probably the most important answer for this whole round. Actually, Pizza Hut large pizzas are half an inch bigger than Domino's large pizzas. So Pizza Hut is bigger than Domino's. Now you've got those questions, and you've had those answers even. Do the usual. If you can write your team name and the score that you got in the chat. I'll give you 20 seconds to do that, and then I'll tell you who got bonus points for their team name. Okay, while I wait for the final one to be added in, I've given a bonus point to Quiche Church because I found that very amusing and because I can't say it properly. It does seem that quite a lot of churches really enjoy a good quiche, and I love a good quiche, so that made me laugh. And then I also gave a point to the hedgehogs because there was an ice cream round first, and the hedgehog is my favourite kind of ice cream. You can only get it in Cornwall. Oh, in fact, you can probably get it in more places than Cornwall. It's clotted cream ice cream, coated in clotted cream, and rolled in honey roasted hazelnuts. It will literally completely fill your arteries. Right, I've got to do some mathematics very quickly. So talk among yourselves. Okay, if you're quicker than me, you will already have done this in the chat. But in last place, with a very respectable 32 out of 50 points, was the Hedgehogs. Now, they did actually miss the first round, so, you know, they did pretty well, all things considered. Then, second to last was Quiche Church with 36 points. And then in joint second place, and it is joint second place again, the Aaron Scott fan club, who've now all resigned from the Aaron Scott fan club. And Turnaround 180, which is a good pun, but I think you've probably used it before in a quiz, so I won't going to give you points for it. Which means more than just the three of us came in first place with 42 points. So well done to them. Well done to everyone. I hope you enjoyed this August edition of the Gathering Quiz Online. Yeah, we shall see. We've not actually properly planned September yet, so we shall wait and see what happens then. But for now, goodbye and God bless. If I can find the off button, which I can't.